Good morning, everyone. This is the 68 Camaro that I've been restoring. I have restored over the last almost 5 years now, and I wanted to do a quick video. I'm going to do several if it goes over well, about different things about the car, how it was done, what we did to it, what had to be done and what wasn't done, a little bit of the history, that sort of stuff. But what you're looking at is a pretty darn original car. Yes, it's restored, preserved, has new paint and all that good stuff, but everything is as it was, with some Day2 period correct additions and original color, very original, very correct car. And this is it. The car was found in Elbow Lake, Minnesota. It was in a shed. Everybody says, barn find. Well, this one actually was a shed find, and it's documented. This is the license plate that was on the car when I found it. And last time it was registered was in 1981. And that was the last time, of course, it was on the road. And it was just put away on a dirt floor and never to be seen again until now. This is the original selling dealer. It reigns in Lisbon, North Dakota. So the car originally was sold in North Dakota. I had documentation from NCRS on the car. And let me do that one more time. And it shows that the car was an early car, built in September of '67. And it is just a plain Janer, nothing super special. It's a 327 4-speed car, 10-bolt rear, and then we took it from that point and did the period correct normal Day2 edition stuff that I would have done when I was a kid, and what most everybody else did too. This is an original antenna, rear mounted antenna, original spoiler. Antenna works just like you see there, but if you noticed, I was able to open and close that trunk without interference of that antenna. And the reason why that is because in the shop we took several hours, most of the day, if not, yeah, I would say that, and took that whole antenna apart, took each mast, took a couple inches out of each section of that antenna, re-silver brazed and soldered it back together, and made it so that it would function with that spoiler and still have the original look. And as you can see, it is the real deal. It is an original General Motors antenna. All the decals that are on the car are original, real. Stuff that I have put on after the fact, of course, but they are real. And they're just things that I like. I have many of them. I just haven't stuck all of them on. I just put on a few ones that really mean things, especially this one right here, because this is something I grew up with in Philadelphia, and it's near and dear to me, and it is an original decal. Okay. You're going to see a lot of things on this car that aren't perfect, but they are what was on this car when I found it. You can see the patina on that tail light lens or bezel, and but those lenses, that bezel, are what was on this car when I found this car. There's an original tag frame on it. That's an original tag for 68 in Florida. It has an original set of dealer built Bill Thomas traction bars on it. They are real. Nicky Chevrolet sent these stickers to me from Chicago. They have a registered trademark label on them. They are real. They are not reproduction. They are new, but they are made by Nicky Chevrolet or commissioned by them. This is the original interior. And in future videos, I'm going to go over a lot of this stuff more in depth, because there's a lot of neat things about this car. That's an original denim polo jacket from the 80s that was gifted to me by Kathleen, my sweetheart. And there you go. That's an original drag strip decal. I have other ones too from that area. And these are original torque thrust wheels from 1967. All the lights and stuff in this car are real. You can see that little black racetrack around that bezel. That's the original bezel that was on this car. All the stuff has just been cleaned up and put back on. The wheel tags are something I had made. They're aluminum, and they look really cool on the wheel. Just a little added touch to, you know, details. Original mirrors. They even have the date code on them. They are correct. This hood is a Day2 ad. It's a 1968 Super Sport hood, and you'll look at those garnishes on the hood. The vents, they are correct for 1968, early 1968 small block. They were done away with later on in the year, and everything got ice cube trays. But in early 68, if you had a big block, you got the ice cube trays. If you had a small block, you got these. Original emblems, I just repainted them, put them back on the car. Original T3 headlights, yes, they are over 50 years old. They are real, and they do work. Grill took probably about 30 hours to restore. It was broken in a few places and kind of messed up. It's not original to the car, but it is an original assembly line grill, and I just fixed it up because the one that was in the car was really, really bad. My friend Bobby, like a son to me, really good at plastic welding. Him and I went at it and really got this thing put together and looking good. Original front spoiler. This is the real deal. This is not a fake reproduction or anything. You'll see that there's a grain in this spoiler, and that's how you know. When you see them when they're real super smooth and everything, that's a reproduction. This is not. It's a NOS front bumper. I had to replace that. Back bumper is an original. It still has a patina to it. Front bumper was twisted because this fender had been damaged from hitting a fence on the farm. All the stainless steel trim on the car is original. I did add the wheel arch moldings, the door belt moldings. This car didn't have that option, so I added that option to the car because I just thought it looked nicer with it. Here's a set of 4-leaf Z28 springs out of a 68 Z28. They are real. The shocks are Hurst drag shocks. They're dual valve. They were NOS in the box, early 70s. Suspension's F41. The wheel tags are still, or not wheel tags, the spring tags are still on the springs. I wire tied them. They are the original tags to those springs. They have a number on them that are not reproduced. So I put them back on this, and you couldn't get a reproduction tag with that number on it. So it's kind of cool. Something different. All right. Go inside. Buzzer works. There is a new wiring harness in it, but it is an original wiring harness with, you know, glass fuses and such. Okay, all right. The steering wheel, 1967 Corvette. Horn button, 1966 Corvette. Tachometer is a Stuart Warner transistorized tack. It is an original tack from the 60s, and it is still transistorized and works. The radio, this is cool. Let's see. Put that over there. It works. I sent this out to Tennessee to a fellow named Richard Blankenship, who restored it, put a module in it, and added some power to it. And now it plays just like it did back in the 60s, but better, and everything functions as it should. I can plug my phone into it and play XM radio through it. And the speakers are original speakers. The grills are original to a multiplex system, but the speakers behind them are 1978-79 Jensen coaxials. I built this car for me, from my era. I was born in the mid 60s, so I'm a 70s, 80s child. So Jensens were a big thing back in the day. All right, we're gonna fire it up. It's carbureted. It's got a 580 CFM single feed 4-barrel on it, Holly. And it runs and fires up really well. I'm gonna do some things to this car in the summertime to add some more performance to it. It's kind of under carbureted as it is now. And so I want to do, some stuff, get a little louder exhaust on it. I'm going to go chambered. Right now I have a Concourse Correct Gardner exhaust, dual exhaust with single transverse muffler. It is the factory muffler, and it sounds good at idle, and it goes down the road pretty okay, but it planes off as quiet as a Buick. So I really need to get a little more thump and rumble to it. We're in Brooksville here. Real pretty backdrop. All right, we'll pop the hood. Sorry for that crazy move. All right, there it is. It's a 327 engine. It's a 210 horsepower original 2-barrel motor. It is the original engine to the car. It is state code numbers correct. Transmission, rear end, all of it. Even that alternator, starter, water pump, everything is correct. Restored the voltage regulator, horn relay. It's got manual steering. I restored that manual steering box. It has 1967 manual disc brakes in it. I know it's not correct, but that is real. I just did not want power brakes, so I went for manual disc. And I went with the 67 Brake Master. It's a 1-year only master. It's pretty rare, and it really works well. So it is a Day2 deal, add-on, something you guys would have done, back in the day. Found one of these cars wrecked, grab that to take their drum brakes off and put the disc brake system on. The heads are Fuelie heads from a 68Z. They're 3 days day code correct to this block, which is pretty crazy. Intake manifold is 1966 Corvette. The filler neck and cap are actually from the 210 motor. Just refreshed them, chromed them, put them back on. The cap I just polished. I'm probably going to go ahead and put a Z cap on it just so it looks a little cooler. Air cleaner, valve covers are original 1968. Dress up kit from Chevrolet. They are real. Original radiator cap, or radiator cap if you're from Philly. And it is correct. It's the same cap that was found on the car. I restored it, and it was really, really bad. And you'll notice that there's 2 stamps that are on here are backwards. That's because this cap is one of the ones that went through and down the line backwards, and it was the cap that was on the assembly line of the for this car. So lucky me, I got that little Easter egg, and I kept it, and it's not something I added to it to be fun. It actually was what was on the car. Heat riser's still there, original manifolds are still here. There's the numbers of the engine. Original fan. I added a 3-row radiator from an automatic air conditioning car. I'm in Florida, so I wanted the extra cooling. Heater core, it is the original heater core. We recored it, but the tanks are still Harrison tanks back there. I still have to add the hoses for the windshield wiper squirters, but everything's in place. I just haven't gotten that far. All the phosphate finishing we did in-house at the shop. Every nut and bolt was restored in the shop. I had a lot of help from friends and relatives, my son. Hey, how are you? People coming by to check it out. This was an add-on I did here. It's a replication of like a 427 emblem. We went with 327, so we weren't like posing or anything. I just liked the style of that emblem. I wish Chevrolet would have continued with it on. In 68, and added that, 327. And so I went ahead and I did that. That's just something I think that Chevrolet could have, would have done, and should have done. Tires are reproduction, Coker. I do have an original set of tires for the Traeger wheels that'll be going on this summer that I have restored. Traegers are from 70, 71, tires are from 73. They are real, original Bias-Ply tires. So there she is. Color Sequoia Green. It was a real pain in the butt to do. It cost a great deal of money to actually get that color correct. We took a sample from the inside of that fender and then color, tinted and everything like that until the color was exactly as it was. The color that this car came down the assembly line with is exactly what you see here. Yes, it shines a little bit more, but that is the actual, original Sequoia Green. I drove this car up to South Carolina and back. I take it to the store. I do not show it. I just drive it and enjoy it. It takes fuel to run it. It doesn't like pump gas too much. But when I went to South Carolina, I was able to run 93 in it, and it ran pretty decent on that. I just don't like, letting that car sit with that ethanol in it. So when she's home, she gets 100 octane or 110 octane race gas mixed with 89 octane, pump gas. That's non-ethanol. That's why I have to pull that clutch and engine brake it. Otherwise, it will knock and run on if I shut it down. Otherwise, but original glove box, I got it locked, and yeah, I figure we'll let that run 20 minutes. That'll be all right. Let's see if I get this thing right, maybe. Come on. There we go. There's the original owner's manual and sleeve and everything. Not too much anything else in there. And that's it, really. And ashtray. And which was kind of cool. Let's see if I can get that thing to pop out all the way. You can see how, kind of blistered up it was, and that's from the mice. They just, did their number in this thing. But it is actually the same ashtray that was in this car when I found it. It probably should be black because this is a car that was built so early. I've been told it should be a black ashtray, but as I found the car, this is what was in it, so that's what I put back in it. And I'm third owner, so second owner said that was in there when he got it. So that says to me maybe the first owner might have switched it out. Who knows? The shifter is a Hirsch shifter, Comp 4. It is an original. You notice the large letters on it. It's not, a modern one. And how yellow the shift ball is. This was put in when the car was new. Original, second owner told me, that has always been in the car. The slider is an original slider. I had to replace it, of course, because everything was rotted in it. And it has the original rubber boot inside here. I tried putting a reproduction one of those things in there, and they're total crap, trash. I had to find an actual original one for this shifter to work properly. Same with the slider. Aftermarket slider, total junk, never worked. You can see all the patina on this, and it's a little, like the veneer is a little lifted up in here. That's because this is the same console that was in this car when I found it. Had to replace the carpeting because it was so bad. Replaced the safety belts. These are out of a 69 Camaro. I don't have the proper buckles, so I'm going to get a set of buckles for a 68, but for now, I can drive it and safe, I guess. Restored the gauge cluster. It is the original gauge cluster to the car. This is spray paint chrome type of stuff. I sent it out to Spectre Chrome, and they redid those with that spray chrome, and it came out really good. I mean, very nice. And ductwork is so, it's an original ductwork system. It's actually taped together rubber and stapled from the factory before they put that rigid crinkle ductwork in. Original door panels, just cleaned up, put back in the car. They still have dates on them in the back, you know, assembly line markings. Underneath that cup says 1967. Kick panels, everything, it's very correct. 90% of the sheet metal on this car is still the original sheet metal. Polished out the door jambs. The little buttons and everything are still original. These seals are still original. And the fuzzies on the doors are still original. This here I had to replace. This was all gone. Original back seat, of course, vents and things of that nature. But we'll get into it more later. But there you go. This is the car. Hope you enjoy it.